Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 82 of the Seezus show. It feels great, it feels lovely to be back.
Back.
Not virtual, you know what I'm saying, in person.
Be in person.
But before we get into, today's hottest topics and whatnot, I just want to rehash you guys, as always, with the previous episodes. So on episode 81 of the Season Show, we got a little deep with things, race in the United States, the death of George Floyd. Obviously, we, went into NBA topics, Matt Barnes talking about his ring not counting as one. Bradley Beal and John Wall coexisting, Pierce comments about LeBron, Dame wanting to sit out, and much, much more. So I hope today, we can fill you with some great content. So without further ado, I haven't said this in a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for my board, for my co-host, Trade Day XXIV.
What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? Happy to be back in the spot for real. The real deal. Yeah, COVID fist bump. You already know. But nah, man, it's good to be back. Stuff's getting rolling. The dimensions are changing. So just really happy to be here, man. Ready to pod, man.
Yeah, then let's get it, man. So man, I just feel like this past week and a half, honestly, is just taking a mental toll on all of us. But some good things have came about it as well too. So obviously, the biggest thing now is, George Floyd and, what went about it. So, after his death and whatnot, for those officers, nothing really happened to him, at all.
Yep.
And they finally got some justice as well, too. So just looking up on this website right here, BBC, if you guys can hurry up. Let me see right quick. So I think Derek Chauvin, the one who actually kneed him in the neck, is that his name? Yeah. He was charged with second-degree murder. And then also, I believe Thomas Lane had been charged with aiding and abetting. He got charged with second-degree murder as well, too. Alexander Quang, he got charged with second-degree manslaughter. And Tao Dao, the one who basically, the Asian dude who basically was just looking at everything going on as well too, he got charged with second-degree manslaughter as well too. It's just kind of crazy how it took millions of people to protest, millions of people to be routed up and whatnot for all that to happen. Like,
Yeah.
if they just did their due diligence, then none of this would have happened as well too, which was ridiculous. But I'm glad that justice was served in some type of way as well too. So more importantly were these protests. I enjoyed these protests, at least from, Richmond's standpoint. Obviously it started off with, people looting as well too. And from there, a couple of businesses got destroyed and whatnot, which sucked. As time passed by, definitely got more peaceful as well too. I actually was able to go to one this past Friday as well. It wasn't a march or anything, but we were at the Robert E. Lee Memorial. I felt pretty good. My biggest thing was going out there and getting myself exposed, being around other people. But I felt pretty good because although there was a lot of people, I still felt like I was distant from everyone there as well too. Obviously, I had my mask on, I had my hand sanitizer on deck as well too. But we're more so paying homage to Breonna Taylor because that was her birthday, and she would have been 27th if she were still alive. So people had, talked about, issues that were going on. People had open poetry, just expressing how they felt. People, had their rhymes, and it was just beautiful. They also had like a little prayer station as well too, which was great. And it really just put a lot of things back into perspective as well too. So I was glad to be a part of that. And they had different stations, donating for the cause as well too. So I definitely donated as well. But it was great. It sucks with the looting. Like, I get why people would be upset, especially when you're attacking minority-owned businesses as well too. That always sucks. But I said this to my friend earlier today when I was speaking with him. I said sometimes for our point to get across, it's gonna get like that. Sometimes I feel like it's a necessary evil in a way for that to happen. But what were your thoughts with everything going on as well too?
First off, rest in peace to all that has happened, and who they've happened to the families. My condolences. It's it's a tough one, but it's always tough. Built for it by design in a lot of ways, just because we have withstood this for so many years. Um, it's good that the officers are getting charged. I think the immediate forms of justice per se have been good. It's not equal by any means yet. Like the
Hell no.
officer getting charged with like third degree murder, or then they upgraded to second degree, something like that. Yeah, they've upgraded it and stuff like that. When if it had been in a different scenario, in a different skin, then he would have got first degree probably off the back, just like that, which it was first degree murder. He's sitting there on his neck for 8 minutes. He's on his neck for 8 minutes. I mean, who needs to do that for 8 minutes? When somebody is restrained, they are restrained. He wasn't going anywhere. That's the first off. So I hope we're not satisfied with just that ruling. I hope we keep pushing. It's good. It's like they're giving us piece by piece by piece, which is not equality in a lot of ways, because it's like, look, I want to be with you right here, right? And then I'm like, all right, cool, I got you. I want to be with you right here. I got you. Like, all right, I got you. But they're still going up, and I'm still trying to approach you. You're only giving me a piece by piece as you keep elevating off my work and my back and my downfall and my tragedy, So I hope we keep that clear vision in mind to look, it's not equality yet, because if it had been a different scenario, then somebody of a different background probably would have got first degree murder for that. Or if it was a different scenario, it would have been first degree murder. But because of the system of policing, because of the system of systematic oppression, because of the system of that is in this country and set in place and that has operated for so many years, it's not happening like that. So we need to stay vocal. I got to give a big shout out to everybody that's out there protesting, everybody that's out there, marching, everybody that's out there doing their thing. It doesn't go unnoticed. It doesn't go on deaf ears. It doesn't go, without us really like appreciating it. And if you are of a different background, and you're genuine and you're really trying to understand and you're really trying to support, that doesn't go unnoticed, So everything, it means a lot. To get to RVA, I was actually around on Saturday. So I was around and about, went to go protest, but also just to kind of protect the people that I knew were going to be down there to protest. So we were down there. It was an interesting scene. I've been preaching from my social medias a lot to stay organized, right? To be vigilant, because there are groups of people that will come and they will act a certain way that isn't peaceful, that isn't for the movement, that isn't for everybody else's benefit, just to glorify themselves, just to hijack stuff in certain ways. So I'm always saying, be safe. Plan your own events so you know what's kind of going on, so you kind of have coordination with the powers that may be or that could be involved in those. So Richmond, that kind of went into us being in a curfew. It was a scary time on Saturday night. It was an interesting time, and it was a scary at the same time. And I'm glad that the statues are coming down, maybe because of that. Do you think that it's because of that night's protest it came down, or you think it's because of the multiple and nonviolent ones? Or do you think that the violence kind of got their message?
The violence definitely got the majority a little scared.
Okay. Yeah, and there's so many ways to protest, guys. Let's not be complacent and just walking in the streets, because if you keep begging for something you've been begging for years, all you're gonna get is crumbs. All right, let's keep pushing the envelope forward. I won't go super deep into violence, non-violence, this, that, and the third. But I will say that if violence is used against a group of people, or is used over and over again in a scenario, and the person that is being the violence is being used against finally steps up and uses violence, then you can't say, "Oh, you're using violence. It should be peaceful." No, that's a step towards equality, because violence has to be combated with violence in order to get the attention of the person that's using violence with you, or else you'll always be dehumanized. You'll always be put back in third, fourth, fifth place, 3/5 of a man. You know, so that's my take on that. Shout out to everybody in the movement. Please, please, please don't put it down. Please don't get caught up in a craze, in a trend. It's every day, take it one step at a time. Unplug, worry about your mental health, also unite with one another, and let's keep this thing going. All right.
For sure, I agree with that as well too. So, yeah, my biggest thing is like what you said. Don't take your foot off the gas. I know for some it's going to be a trend. You can just tell as well too, but it just feels a little different. I don't know why the energy just feels a little different. I've never seen a movement go on this long through the social media era. At least with us in our generation as well too. Like I see things constantly
Come and
every
go.
single day with people showing their love and support, and their will to, make things change. But the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway, honestly, for change to truly come is we have to vote. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't like to vote. They think their vote doesn't matter. But in theory, if one person don't vote, yes, I get it. But think about it. Like, if you vote and you're encouraging other people to vote, that's going to get the numbers up as well too. So it's not even just from a national level with presidency as well too. You know what I'm saying? County, city, state, all that. Like all that matters. Where you live matters. So definitely, go register to vote because that's where the true changes will happen. And I hope we eventually get a reform with the police reform as well too, because we definitely need to get some things changed around as well too.
Yeah.
So that's good. And shout out to NBA players. Again and again and again and again. Whenever something happens, they're always the first to attack it. I
Yeah.
saw people like John Wall, Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, Steph Curry, Aisha Curry, Chris Middleton, Giannis, Matt Barnes, Kyle Lowry, Harrison Barnes, like all of them, being a part of protests, all of them utilizing their platform to spread awareness and love as well too. So shout out to them as well. So
Big facts.
it's just been great. And another thing as well too is like this past couple of weeks, especially this past week, has been pretty eye opening as well too. You start to realize like who's with it and who's not. And I'm just at that point. I'm like, yo, if you're not with it, then I'm not with you. You know what I'm saying? I had to call some people out. I'm not even gonna say their names or anything. I just had to call some people out to be like, yo, like, are you about equality? Like, silent isn't the answer. Silent is ignorant as well too. So my biggest thing is, especially if you're white as well too, don't ever feel uncomfortable, with the situation. I mean, you weren't a part of the problem back in the day, but you're still part of the problem if you're silent. So all we ask is for you to not be ignorant, educate yourself with everything that's going on, show some empathy, and don't be afraid to be uncomfortable to talk about certain situations amongst your peers, people you're around every single day. And I feel like if you can do that, then there's no real problem. I don't think so at all. Which leads me to Drew Brees. Oh man, Drew Brees has caught a lot of heat, and as he should as well too. So basically, Drew Brees was essentially asked about, I'll just get into the excerpts as well too. Let me see. I want to get the exact quote.
Yeah, you gotta get 'em
I want to
right.
get the exact quote.
Boy,
Drew Brees
Drewski.
may have lost one, brother, man.
He might get sacked a few more times next year. I don't know.
Dude, I was gonna say that as well too.
They might let somebody come right up the
But
middle.
anyways, where does it start? I hold on. Ah man, I wish I had the actual quote a couple days ago, but let me see. Okay, there we go. Drew Brees comment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to make a long story short, if I don't find this as well, too, basically what he was saying was one of the interviewers asked him, with everything that's going on, and, the one of the reasons why, this is one of the reasons why Colin Kaepernick, did this, like, what are your thoughts on everything? And he said that I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America or our country. Let me just tell what I see or what I feel when the national anthem is played. And when I look at the flag of the United States, I envision my two grandfathers who fought for this country during World War II, one in the Army and one in the Marine Corps, both risking their lives to protect our country and to try to make our country in this world a better place. So every time I stand with my hand over my heart, looking at that flag and singing the national anthem, that's what I think about. And in many cases, that brings me to tears, thinking about all that has been sacrificed, not just to those in the military, but for that matter, those throughout the civil rights movement of the 60s, and all that has been endured by so many people up until this point. And is everything right with our country right now? No, it's not. We still have a long way to go, but I think what you do by standing there and showing respect to the flag with your hand over your heart, it shows unity. It shows that we're all in this together and we can do this better, and that we're all part of the solution as well too. So he caught a lot of slack, as he should as well too.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, like, I feel like being African American, we're just very forgiving. So I feel like a lot of times, at least for me, I was just trying to figure out, I was just trying to find a way to forgive him.
Okay.
And I try to as well. And my whole thing was like, after trying to give him the benefit of the doubt in some type of way, I'm just like, dude, you live in New Orleans, dude. Like 80 to 90% of the NFL, at least your teammates, are black. You're in a country. I mean, you're in a city where it's predominantly black as well too. So for you to say something like that, that's kind of disrespectful and that's kind of insensitive as well too. So my thing is what's up with you, bro? And for him to, obviously bring in, people fighting through the military, the corps as well too, World War II. Like, let's not get it twisted. I was even watching Detroit the other day. Like, a lot of African Americans also fought alongside for the war as well too. And the thing is, when they came back from the war, they were denied their civil
Still couldn't
rights.
vote.
They were still getting
Still
treated
couldn't
like
vote.
shit. So if you don't understand why Cap is taking a knee for the racial injustices, the police brutality, everything that's going on, then fuck you, for real. That's how I feel, to be honest. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a hot take. I need a hot take button, but a hot take. I am not surprised,
Exactly. It's like you're not surprised, but it's like,
but follow me here.
okay.
Nor at this point in the game am I caring what somebody who the system of privilege and is designed to capitalize and designed to benefit. I'm not surprised when they're misinformed, when they speak out of term, or when their opinion isn't following the movement or the appropriate response of the time. Nor currently do I care, because from a coverage standpoint, they'll cover that and not what's really going on for us. They'll put his in quotes and they'll run it over and over and over again to let you know, oh, he said this when somebody else died, when we need to know this is happening, when this, that, and the third. So
Keep it down. Keep going.
we
Keep
leave
going.
it now.
Yeah.
So what and I think it's so important from a movement standpoint that if he says that and he takes it back and he wants to be educated further and he wants to help out and he wants to donate, all right, his teammates and the people that are close to him, the people that did reach out to him and said what they said to him and made him recant his statement, which the first one was some trash, all right? The first one was BS. The second one when he apologized was a lot better, all right? There's people that are close to him that can't do that. But as far as the demographic of this movement is made up by so many people, and if it's us, it's made up of so many of us that might like sports, that might like stand a third, but it becomes another distraction to be like, oh, he did this, he did what, he did, oh dang. Meanwhile, somebody else got a knee in their back, somebody else got killed, somebody, or there's stuff we should be worried about that shouldn't be his comments because he's already in a place of privilege. For me, it's like, yo, don't take your eyes off the prize. We got to keep going. We got to keep going. And now with him saying that in the position that he is, I think it's detrimental to him. For one, you have probably a team 85%, not 70% full of African Americans, black, people that, whether they get to voice it or not, because that is a business that's run by a majority, or as far as financials go. Even if they don't say it, get to say it. Yo, you have to understand that you can't be saying stuff out of line like that. But there is a place of privilege where you probably didn't even understand that he couldn't say that.
The thing is like, I get that it's a place of privilege, you know what I'm saying? But like I pointed to you, like, it just doesn't make sense how he's within this community around predominantly black people every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense. But yeah, keep going.
I mean, and that goes into some of the protests, which are great protests, but I'd have to say that there is a very predominant, like, so we'll relate it to the Richmond protest, and okay. I'll drop it back to Drew Brees. Right. So we're walking down Monument, and there's very expensive houses on Monument. But as far as the Richmond region, right, where is the money at in the Richmond region? The biggest money, probably. Downtown. Give me another one. Short Pump. Glen Allen. The people that the urban sprawl, right? Like, really, let's get deep with it, right? So they're going out there, they're in their communities. That's why people I saw things like, let's protest at Short Pump, and as far out as that is from maybe safety for us that maybe live in urban downtown area, I'm like, yo, that might get their attention, because people can turn on their TV, say, oh, the black folks are marching, turn it off, go and live their nice privileged life, whether it be white, this, that, and the third, but they can turn it on and off. They can subscribe to our hurt and unsubscribe to our hurt whenever they feel like it. Right?
Yeah.
Right? That's why the biggest thing about some of this is you gotta hurt their pockets, bro. You gotta vote. You gotta say this, that, and the third. So it doesn't surprise me, because even though Drew Brees is probably around black people a lot of times, but Drew Brees, and that's privilege. You can still subscribe to the struggle that's going on around you. If I'm in a pizza shop and from the day I'm born, you come bringing me pizza every single day, and then one day, I hear some ruckus in the back, but you still bringing me that pizza, and then you ask me, man, like, yo, I don't know what's going on, bro. They're not treating me right in the back. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. But I've been eating pizza from this shop for a while now.
Yeah,
I need you to keep bringing me that pizza. That is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a place of privilege. You have to bring me that pizza for your living. You have to. Mm-hmm. Right? So I'm not surprised by that. I think that Drew Brees, this is a wake up for him.
Yeah.
And I don't take away from what he's did for the community down there in New Orleans, probably how his relationships with his black teammates, and he probably spoke out of term, right? Because it's a big pie, and some of his pie just wasn't. He said what he shouldn't have said. It didn't make any sense this time the third. I think that he knows now that he shouldn't have said any of that. But that is what it is. We're gonna hear a lot of that. Like even Michael Porter Williams, right?
Michael Porter
Jr. said what he said a few weeks ago. But we're gonna see a lot of that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm a forgiving person. I just feel some type of way right now. So I'm more concerned about his teammates. Like, do you think that's going to cause a divide, or they're just going to brush it under the rug? Like, do you think they can coexist? Because I know some people
in sports
can get stuck in their ways too. So
in sports, bro, winning cures everything.
Winning does cure everything. But it's I feel like with football, as opposed to every other sport, you got to be the most in sync offense, defense, coaching, special teams, all that, and it feels more warlike to me. And it's like, dude, are you going to war for us or not?
I think from a football standpoint, and I won't go into this on the podcast. We'll talk about it later. But I think from a football standpoint, with him being the driven leader and being somebody that they can rely on the field, and somebody that I think can apologize like he did, accept it, and address his teammate, the veteran leaders that are African American, that are black, and address the team again like he probably will when training camp starts, when they're back all together. I think that it'll be fine. Not say it's going to get brushed under the rug. I think they'll have a long conversation, or longer than they probably would have had. I think he will get educated. He will say his part of why he said it. But I think for him being the leader, the proven leader, and just being in that town, and they know his actions rather than his words. I think it'll go.
You can say his track record speaks for him.
It speaks a lot better than what he just said. And granted, we do live in a social media moment that if you say something wrong, that's against the thoughts. And I'm not downgrading our movement and our fighting for our black lives.
Basically, yeah. I mean, you're right with whatever's trending. This is what's trending right now.
Yeah, I'm not downgrading that, but I think we're all in a moment where you can get canceled so fast, right? Which we need to use to our advantage, because we can cancel stuff, we can stop paying for stuff, we can stop buying stuff, we can hurt their pockets. They're gonna have to get with it or get lost, man. That's all it is.
For sure. Do you think players within the NFL should, continue to take a knee this upcoming season?
I think now more than ever, but I'm all for protests. I'm all for shows and displays. But if we're going to be doing this stuff, we need to have very real results. We need to have very real, like, I was listening to a monologue on with Huey P. Newton. It was a monologue, and it was like, sometimes I think words hinder us as human beings, right? So Roger Goodell just apologized. But if I'm taking the action of kneeling, right, I don't want to hear your words. I want action. I want funds to be allocated different places. I want, when a coach is black and he has a losing season because he just got hired that season with the worst team in the NFL, he doesn't have to leave the year afterward. You right? It takes like 2-3 years to actually get a program running. I want Colin Kaepernick, if he so chooses to play, because I'm not really sure if Colin Kaepernick wants to still play. I think he's a lot bigger, a lot larger than life in this activist role, right? And if he so chooses to play, and he can play, which we've seen that he can play, that he should have a spot on an NFL team, and not because they're suppressing him. You know what I'm saying? And if we're gonna kneel, I want the action with that. We have to keep. That's distasteful. I was gonna say we want to keep the foot, but we really want to stay down on the NFL because they won't change. If we take our eyes off them, it's like a kid. They'll keep doing what they're doing, right? They won't change. So I want Colin Kaepernick in the league. I want this, that, and the third. I want these changes to be made, but I don't want to kneel and nothing happen again.
Yeah, I agree. Someone needs to get. I mean, not really. I guess it's Fox News, so it kind of makes sense. But Laura Ingraham.
That's her program, bro. That's what she is. That's what she subscribes to, man. Come on now.
Laura Ingraham was just wilding. So if you guys don't remember years ago, LeBron spoke his mind, in regards to, what's been going, like what was going on. I think it was more so in regards to Trump or maybe some policies or something like that. And she literally came on air and she basically told him, like, yo, you're an athlete. That's what you should just subject yourself to. So just basically shut up and dribble. And then it's crazy when Drew Brees spoke his remark, she basically said, he's a human being and he's entitled to his opinion.
Yeah.
Clearly she's racist.
Yeah.
There's no sugarcoating that as well, too. But what I want to say is, like, that's why I love what players are doing, especially in the NBA, utilizing platforms like the Uninterrupted, I Am More Than an Athlete and whatnot as well, too. Like, in general, when you are in school or just growing up, so many people tell you that, you know, just to stay in one lane or you're not going to be anything or whatnot. And with that platform, it kind of teaches you to, you know, expand your horizons. You don't just subject yourself to one thing as well too. So I just want to bring notice to that as well, for real, for real. But you know, aside from all that, at the end of the day, let's get into some NBA topics
Yep.
for today as well too.
Dang, we just get to NBA
We
topics.
just get into it,
Sheesh,
right?
let's do it.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be condensed. So the NBA returns on my birthday, July the 31st. I remember I messaged you about that.
Want to big up yourself. Forward.
I'm so excited, so excited, so excited. So there's going to be 9 teams from the East and 13 teams from the West. And like I said, it's going to start July 31st, and teams are going to play 8 regular season games. And basically, there's going to be a play-in for the 8th seed. So if you're the 9th seed and you're within 4 games of the 8th seed, there's going to be a play-in. So the 9th seed would need 2 wins, and the 8th seed would need 1 win. So let's say if the 9th seed was 4 games behind the 8th seed, and they had to play in, if the 8th seed just won one, once it's over, they're automatically stamped in the playoffs. But if the 9th seed wins and upsets them that one game, then the second game is going to be whatchamacallit, basically winner takes all, essentially, as well too. So I love that idea as well. I was kind of curious of why more teams from the East didn't necessarily get a chance to participate in the ending of the regular season, but it makes sense. It definitely makes sense as well too. So I love it.
I love it, though.
I love it.
I love
man.
it.
I love it. We finally got a spot in Orlando at the Walt Disney Resort as well too. I haven't really done my research, so I don't know exactly how many facilities there are. So
There's
I'm thinking like
a shit ton.
of different facilities to play at, because I was like, yo, is it going to kind of be like that AAU vibe where,
Yes.
you know, one team plays and then like 2 hours later another team plays and whatnot? What did you think about that?
Yeah, that's Orlando's like where like the big AAU championships happen.
So
like,
there's more than one place to play at?
I mean, there's one place to play at. No, there's more than one. So there's a few sites, but the way they have the gyms set up, there's multiple courts and stuff like that. So as long as they rig it the right way, you know. So if it's a gym that might contain like 8 courts or so like that, they rig it the right way with the media, with the camera and stuff like that. They can have multiple games going on at once, but the media capturing one game at a time, but then like showing them either, you know, back to back or showing them, say, hey, we can just get this one site together. We can have 2 gyms and 1 boom, 2 boom, stuff like that. So there's plenty of space down there, and I figured they were going to go with Orlando either way. I think Vegas would have been good, but it would have been a little bit too accessible to outside sources in a way. So Orlando's kind of like the basketball compound. That's why they have all this stuff. There's plenty of space for basketball. So
It's going to be dope. And they also, from what I heard, they're going to have the franchises or the teams court. So they're going to bring that with them as well, too. I think they're going to change it every time the home team or away team plays. And someone said that they're going to incorporate some like sound effects there as well too, so you kind of have like a simulated crowd, which I was talking about episodes ago as well too. So
interesting.
I think it's going to be dope as well. Do you think 8 games is enough to get into the play? I mean, to basically to go straight into the playoffs. Well, obviously, they're going to have a training camp a little bit before that, probably mid-July, early July. But
yeah, I think for what it's worth, it's they're doing it the right way. You know, some training camp. I mean, granted, this is like a glorified like summer league like championship in a way,
bruh. Yeah, I was just about to ask you about that because you were
AU.
Okay,
you know. Well, what were you gonna ask me exactly?
No, because I remember a couple episodes ago, I was like, "Yo, will this have like a little asterisk to it?" And you basically said yes, in a sense. I don't think so. I mean, if everyone's at a disadvantage, then why not?
I'm not saying it's gonna have an asterisk to it because everybody's not on the same playing field or is you know on a different playing field. I'm saying it's gonna have an asterisk next to it because in the grand scheme of history and basketball and what has came before it and what will come after it per se, like there's not gonna be this again, really.
Okay,
I mean,
but
from a timeline standpoint.
But what about the lockout in the late '90s or the lockout when LeBron and all them won a championship?
Um,
Those were shortened seasons.
they were shortened
Technically
seasons.
speaking, they played 66 games. I think this would be 68 almost.
Um, I think because of the reason that basketball hasn't been played, uh, more than anything, and then plus you do stack it up with the time. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a lockout season. Honestly, I think this is something totally different. And that's just my thinking. Just the one was holding out because of money. This is a health. This is
true.
not just I'm not gonna say this because athletes should get paid, right? I'm of that assumption, and if the owners are getting buku money, then the kids that are in the league for 1 or 2 years should have enough money to take care of themselves and this, that, and the third, and should be financially set for a given amount of time. But because everybody's dealing with these real world problems outside of what is the job, it's mental, it's social, it's everything. It's not just basketball related now.
Yeah.
So when we look back to this year, to this time, maybe it's 1 year, a 2 year period where this all is going on, we'll be like, yo, like that happened and this basketball happened then. And it could be a good and a bad thing. It could be like, yo, well, that was the season when all this happened, the COVID-19 and stuff like that. And it could be, yo, they powered through COVID-19 in a shortened season and they prevailed. So it's going to run hand in hand. It's going to be some pros and cons to it. But I put an asterisk beside it for multiple reasons. And, that's how it goes for me.
I'm just a little worried about obviously they're going to have only essential personnel there as well too, but I'm assuming that the coaching staff and the players, the refs and whatnot would have to stay on site at all times.
Yeah.
But my thing is what about the media and whatnot? Are they? And obviously they're going to be allowed access, but are they going to be? Are they going to be there too? How safe are we going to be with COVID testing? How often are we going to test them for COVID
Facts.
as well too? And then let's say, what if it's the Western Conference Finals and the Clippers are playing the Lakers and LeBron or Kawhi or whoever, a superstar, PG, AD get tested positive for coronavirus?
Very
then,
true.
Do they just not play and the show goes on? What happens with that? You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I'm worried about, testing as well.
That's huge because and it makes the league walk a two-way streak, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if later down the road, we figure out that maybe testing wasn't going how they said testing was gonna go. They were just kind of pushing people through because say it's Game 7 in the finals and LeBron has coronavirus, but he's asymptomatic. You gonna tell your moneymaker not to play, or so that's gonna walk the line, and we probably would never. They'll probably burn that file up and lock it, throw away the key, and boom. But I can see them signing waivers and stuff like that, saying whatever, whatever happens kind of waiver and stuff like that. But it's a tricky line, bro. It's very, very tricky. It's very, very tricky.
I'm a sicko.
What's
I
up?
feel like, get tested, right. Probably out. Okay, so I think they're not getting there until mid-June, mid-July. So obviously, if you do get exposed to coronavirus, you have a 2-week stint. So get tested July 31st. If you're positive, be isolated, get retested, come back, join your team. It's whatever. While the regular season starts, and while the playoffs go on, if no one ain't showing no symptoms, then I ain't testing nobody.
And that, my friends, is the problem. All right, that's what you're sick. Because I could go deeper. I could take it from COVID testing to nah. Be cool. Be cool. Yo. So, and that, my friends, is what I hope the NBA doesn't do. Adam Silver, don't do that. All right, that's definitely a David Stern trick. That's a hat trick, boy.
I'm kidding. I just don't want the.
We're not gonna get any NBA guest stars to come up here after that.
I can see it now, bro. LeBron gets tested positive, and they just like, all right, we're just gonna cancel everything.
It's like when you had a concussion playing football or something in high school, and coach is like, "But can you play?"
Right.
You can run. All right, get back out there because I got to. Nah. Go ahead.
I was kidding. I just want to see what you're gonna say as well too. Obviously, if you get tested, you ain't playing and whatnot as well. But that would be
Shit, if I was NBA, I'd tell them to go back down there and play too.
just a thought in my head.
If I'm the NBA, you're not fucking up my money.
Yeah. So obviously, there's a good amount of teams that are going to be 9th through 13th. So we got the New Orleans Pelicans, we got the San Antonio Spurs, so that's 9, 10. And we got the Portland Trail Blazers, we got the Phoenix Suns, and I think we have the Sacramento Kings, if I'm not mistaken. I was going to ask you, who do you think has the best shot at getting the A seed? But before that, there was actually a report earlier today, and basically LaMarcus Aldridge, apparently the Spurs announced today that LaMarcus Aldridge had a surgical procedure performed on his right shoulder, so that's going to cause them to not be a part of the last remaining seasons and a potential playing for the AFC as well too. So already at a disadvantage when you lose one of your superstars or franchise players on that team as well. But with that being said, who you think has the best shot at getting, the last seed, the last spot in the East and in the West? So I guess we can start off with the West, and you can go to the East.
How are they doing? Is it best of 22 now? Like so,
It's best of 22.
It's 22 teams. I know how many teams is it?
So only 16 teams are going to go.
Oh, we're going to go to the finals. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And they're going to still do the East and the West.
Yeah, East and West. So
Okay.
It's not like
Okay, I thought they were going to blow it all the way up. And you said who has the best shot of getting what?
in the AFC.
In the West?
Yeah, obviously the Memphis are ahead as well too. But like I said, if you're 4 games behind the 8th seed after those 8 games are played, whoever's the 9th seed will be playing the 8th seed. If the 9th seed, when they do the play-in, if the 9th seed wins one game, then they have to play another game. But if the 8th seed for that play-in wins that first game, then there's no second game to be determined.
I'm gonna go Pelicans.
Pelicans?
Okay.
Why the Pelicans?
And this is probably I should have asked this question first, but to get the AFC, so who's fighting for the AFC? The Memphis is the Pelicans and
Sacramento, San Antonio, and Phoenix.
Sacramento, San Antonio, and Phoenix. I mean, honestly, I don't want to see San Antonio play without LaMarcus Aldridge.
I don't either. I don't want to see
Phoenix.
De'Aaron Fox. I don't want to see. I love Devin Booker, and they very well could go 6-0 or something like that. But I don't want to.
So it's just a preference thing, It's just like I would love to see Zion in the playoffs at this point,
I guess that. All right. So obviously, we know Memphis, is right there on the cusp of everything. But I guess my question for you is, what I'm really trying to say is, with all those teams that are playing for the A spot, who has the best shot at matching up or putting some form of fear into the Los Angeles Lakers?
Pelicans.
Pelicans?
I mean, we've seen that LeBron and them were kind of unfazed, but we also saw clips of Zion having his way down there. Granted, it was a regular season game. We're not going to go all out and stuff like that. I think Ja Morant would fight his tail off, but at this point, it's kind of just him fighting down there too. So I think it would just be better from a narrative standpoint just to see LeBron and Zion match up in a way.
Yeah. I'd have to disagree with you as well. I would definitely go with Portland. I think one of the weaknesses.
You didn't say Portland.
I said out of all the teams
I'm
that
sorry.
are fighting for the AC.
Well, yeah, I would love to see Portland down there.
That's
I'm not betting against Dame Dollar. You didn't say Portland. When I asked you, I was like, "Ooh, down there."
We're gonna replay the footage and you're gonna look at it.
Yeah, I'm gonna look crazy, but I'm gonna look crazy.
Out of all the teams fighting for the AFC,
Portland.
That shot. Yeah,
Portland.
All right, yeah. That's what I was saying.
Jeez. All right, but look.
I said Portland.
Check me out though.
Okay.
Check me out though. A few weeks ago, Dame wasn't playing. But yeah, what? Yeah, Dame mess around and get them out of there somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Not saying it's gonna happen. How's the big man on Portland? Is he still out?
Everyone's healthy except for Rodney Hood, who tore his
Really?
Achilles. Yeah. Nurk was supposed to come back a week later.
So Nurk is good.
They got Nurk, Whiteside, Melo, Ariza, Dame.
That's interesting.
Nasir Little, has everybody, bro.
That would be a very interesting series.
I think it can go 6 games. I know they always say the regular season different from the playoffs and whatnot, which is the case, but there's no one I think the Lakers struggle more so with guards as opposed to forwards and bigs.
Yeah.
So I think Dame and CJ McCollum will definitely give them a run for their money. And they got the bigs to actually, go head to head with JaVale McGee and Anthony Davis and Dwight Howard when you got Nurkic and you got Whiteside on and Zach Collins as well too. So I think it would be dope as well too. So that was my answer, and I guess that's your answer.
That's my answer too. That's my answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So so obviously it's a little weird since there's 13 teams on the West and only 9 teams on the East. So basically it's the Wizards and the Magic. I don't know yet, but from a few weeks ago when John Wall came on All the Smoke, he said he's 110%. So I'm assuming he's going to come back. How would you like to see that matchup with the Washington Wizards if they get the 8 seed over Orlando going up against the Bucks?
Did John Wall say is he coming back for this?
All I heard was he was 110%. There's no official ruling yet if he's playing or not.
I think I saw something where he said he wasn't going to come back.
He's not coming back?
I think I saw something where they were like, no, he's not going to come back till next season.
Okay.
I think I did. I think I can. But and they would be matched up against who?
The Bucks. If they got the 8th seed.
Okay, interesting.
That would be tough.
That would be tough. I would love to see it. I would love to see it if John was playing. But
he's playing, yeah.
I'm a Bill fanatic too. I got love for my DC guys. So honestly, yeah, I'm all for it. I'm gung ho.
All right, cool.
I think it'll be give Brad a chance to shine even more too.
Yeah.
So why not?
My thing is too, it's like, damn, are you surprised that Kyrie and KD said they're not playing? I'm not surprised at all because if we're being honest, if this is a continuation of the 19-20 season, they weren't going to play regardless as well too. So I understand, and they're your franchise players, your cornerstone players, and with Kyrie with the shoulder injury, KD a year removed from his Achilles, I don't see them playing at all. So if I'm them, I'm trying to get 110% because there's rumors that the NBA season may start as early as December, even though that shit may go in as long as October. Yeah. They need to change that around. That's a short turnaround time to rest up and get ready. But are you surprised at all?
No. I'm glad KD's not touching the basketball.
Yeah, he don't need to, man. He don't need to. We already got a great amount of storylines as well too.
Sheesh,
going on in the East and overall in the NBA as well. Do you think the fact that because players, teams, or whatever, they all fight all year long to get home court advantage, at least for one round or whatnot. Ideally, you want home court, throughout the series. I mean, throughout the entire the playoffs as well too. Do you think it's going to be a little bit more competitive since there's no quote unquote crowd that's going to be there as well too? Obviously, it's kind of going to, depending on how they set things up. To me, it kind of feels like a lot of pickup games that are going on, organized pickup games. But do you feel like it's going to be a little bit more competitive? Because obviously, when you're at home, your role players step up and whatnot. But if that's not a factor, do you feel like you can see the role players playing a little bit more consistent at home and away games and it being more competitive?
I think at this point it's just basketball, bro. It's all the best players in one gym, one site, and who knows? Maybe it'll be, and I'm not sure how they're exactly going to do this. They're trying to keep so many people in and out, but Florida's been open. Maybe the other teams are already going to be there in a way, and I'm not sure how NBA actually operates, how it would be, but I think it's going to be so new to other players that if you were maybe sent home, they've already been sitting at home for 3 months or so. They might just stay and watch the games. So it's not going to be fans, but it'll be a judgment of your peers. So all it is just basketball. It's pickup in that sense. It's pickup in like all it is hoopers in here. We're gonna do what we're gonna do. We're gonna see who the best. We're gonna see who real to the ground, no theatrics and all that stuff like that. So it takes it up a notch in there. Of course, we want the fans to ooh and ah. The fans are gonna see it regardless. So really, you're just playing for your namesake. You playing, we out back with it, like 1-on-1. My 5 against your 5. Let's get it. So it's a new experience. It's a new notch, and it's gonna be dope.
You know what I hated? Obviously, Adam Silver is very progressive and whatnot, but one idea that I don't like after I've seen a couple of years of it is how they withhold awards until after the playoffs are over with. Normally, you used to get those awards in like the first round of playoffs.
Yeah.
I
They should give them now.
now they should just give it out like
Yeah.
during that span. They
Yeah.
should just give it out
Yeah.
because that just adds more
More
fuel to the
to the
fire,
fire.
bro. So I need to see all that. I need to see all that.
Yeah.
All that. My next question for you was, who are your sleepers or your dark horse teams? In the East and then in the West. We can start off with the East.
In the East,
Who's your dark horse team?
in the East,
I'll
give it
name
Toronto.
Toronto?
I'll give it.
Just one team. Just one team.
Just one team.
Yeah.
Toronto.
Why?
All this talk about the Bucks. I think Philly's not really where they need to be. You know what? Not Toronto. Boston.
That's your dark horse?
Dark horse. I gotta
torn.
I gotta look at it. I'm trying just to define dark horse in my mind. But you know what? I think Boston, with the way Jason Tatum was playing, was getting a lot more love. I think the Greek Freak was really pushing them, and that being a smaller market team. Where are the Pacers at in the thing?
They're probably anywhere between fourth to sixth.
Fourth and sixth. I think my dark horse to actually win it and get it done is Toronto. They're the defending champs. They can get it done. I think another dark horse, and Victor Oladipo has been coming along. Who knows if he has a basketball hoop in his house or whatever like that. But the kid's raw, and I always vouch for him. And I think Indiana, a dark horse as well.
Yeah. See, it's really tough for me because, like I said, that home court advantage really matters. But like you said, at the end of the day, it's just basketball, bro.
Hoopers.
You literally just hooping. My dark horse for the East, I was torn between the Miami Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers. So I'm probably going to lean towards the 76ers because Ben Simmons had an injury, and then Joel Embiid was injured as well, too. So I think if they come together, I think they could get to the finals as well, too. I didn't really count Toronto as a dark horse or anything like that because they've been consistent all year, have the second best record as well, too. But the fact that the Philadelphia 76ers have underperformed when they have two superstars and four all-star caliber players with Al Horford, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, and Tobias Harris, I don't see why they couldn't get it done as well, too. What about you with the West?
The West.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A dark horse for the West. Denver.
Denver?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I would go with. So when I say dark horse, who would you expect to get
Further than they should have
gotten?
Further? Portland again.
That's your dark horse?
Way further than they should have gotten, coming in from the 8th seed.
Yeah.
And granted, they got Dame, so it's not really a dark horse thing, but further than they should have gotten. Portland. And if I was to go just to somebody that just is not shining light on, we're having all this conversation, this, that, and the third, I think Denver, well-coached team, solid players, Joker over there, Murray over there, just some people that could, give people some fits. So,
I had a feeling you were going to choose Denver as well. I'm going to go with OKC.
Interesting.
I'm going to go OKC because I think they can at least get to the second round as well, too. When you got the resurgence and the rest from Chris Paul, who is the ultimate floor general, I think they could do some damage, man. I think they could do some damage. They got a good mix of veterans mixed with young talent. I think they can take care of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they upset a team and they go to the second round to play the Lakers or the Clippers, to be honest.
That'd be dope.
Because
I would love to play the Clippers.
I think in 7 games, no home field advantage, you just hooping. I think they can beat Dallas. I think they can beat Utah. I think they can beat Denver. I think they can beat Houston as well, too. So, that's my dark horse right there.
It's going to be dope.
It's going to be dope.
I feel that. I like it.
Let's go. But ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 82 of the Seezus Show. Finally back,
Yes,
non-virtual.
Yes, we
Hope
are.
you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe, rate, comment, share at Sir Seezus, at the Seezus Show, at TradeXXIV. Any closing words?
Yes. All right. Black lives, black men, women, children, your grandmother, your aunt, your friend. It is not a social media trend. It is not one day pick it up, next day put it down. It is not let me go see why my friend is hurting or crying, and then okay, boom, let me go back into my house and then say I supported Black Lives Matter, not this, that, and the third. It is not something just to post. It is not an excuse to post yourself. It is not an excuse to do a trend, or it's not trendy. It's not, but they'll make you believe it's trendy. Tap in to the real source, to the real problem, to the real message. We're crying out because people that look like me and Sir Seezus are dying. People that look like, your best friends are dying. Okay, people that have been underprivileged for years are dying, and it doesn't make any sense other than the system has been set up to kill us and do it that way and make money off our backs. It is not a trend. It's not trendy. All right. If you're gonna use social media, use it the right way. Right. Forward the cause. Say, tell people to vote. All right. Tell people to take their money from a certain company and put it in a different company that might be supporting the cause, the movement. All right. And one, stay in power, stay in peace. Unplug sometimes. All right. You got love for me. I got love for you. Yo, this is episode 82. You already know.
Yeah, I mean, just to add to that, just it's basic, man. Just treat others the way you want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, this is the perfect time to use your voice. Use your voice for action, and let's be about change. So on that note, we out.
Power to the people.